Ga, 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 he cried, begging her to bring him some food. Ga, call her, she screamed back derisively. But he kept calling plaintively, and after a minute or so, he uttered a joyful scream. His mother had picked up a piece of the fish and was flying across to him with it. He leaned out eagerly, tapping the rock with his feet, trying to get nearer to her as she flew across. But when she was just opposite to him, she halted, her wings motionless, the piece of fish in her beak almost within reach of his beak. He waited a moment in surprise, wondering why she did not come nearer, and then, maddened by hunger, he dived at the fish. So, this is totally a motivation for all of us. Here we can see the young seagull cried in hunger to his mom, while his mom screamed back angrily because she got irritated because this child is not doing anything and he is just crying for food. But he kept crying, which soon turned into a joyful scream because he had seen the sight of his mother flying towards him with a piece of fish. He got excited as she came nearer, and Des leaned forward. Suddenly, what happened? She stopped not too far from him. And out of excitement and hunger, what the seagull has done, he just dived at the fish without realizing for a moment that he was afraid to fly. So, automatically, due to this temptation to eat, what he has done without realizing properly, he just dived at the fish. And that moment, he forgot that he was afraid to fly. Now we know that the bird is flying. Without knowing, he just started flying. With a loud scream, he fell outwards and downwards into space. Then a monstrous terror seized him and his heart stood still. He could hear nothing, but it lasted only a minute. The next moment, he felt his wings spread outwards. The wind rushed against his breast feathers, then under his stomach and against his wings. He could feel the tips of his wings cutting through the air. He was not falling headlong now. He was soaring gradually downwards and outwards. He was no longer afraid. He just felt a bit dizzy. Then he flapped his wings once and then he soared upwards. Ga, 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 gwal! His mother scooped past him, her wings making a loud noise. He answered her with another scream. Then his father flew over him, screaming. He saw his two brothers and his sister flying around him, cavorting and banging and soaring and diving. So, this is a moment of excitement for the whole family. That is, when the small seagull started flying, he got so excited and that he felt as soon as he's tired. He was feeling that he is getting so tired. For a moment, what happened to him? He was in a shock and stood still out of terror. He was little bit afraid and he was in a shock and he was still. All this lasted only for a moment and soon his feathers opened as he flight. So there is no option for the seagull. Now he has to fly. So he opened his feathers and he started flying. He could feel the wind against his breast feathers, stomach and his wings. And he could feel himself cutting through the air. He was not afraid anymore. He was just a bit nervous, but then his mother accompanied him. The whole family, his brother and his sister, all were around him. They screamed out of excitement, not because of fear. They are screaming because of excitement and thus celebrating his victory over fear. So they are celebrating the victory of the young seagull over his fear. Then he completely forgot that he had not always been able to fly and commended himself to dive and soar and curve, shrieking shrilly. He was near the sea now, flying straight over it, facing straight out over the ocean. He saw a vast green sea beneath him, with little ridges moving over it, and he turned his beak sideways and cawed amusedly. Here we can see once the seagull overcame his fear, what happened to him? He forgot that he was once afraid of flying. He just forgot about it. He did all those things he once feared. Now he's able to fly, he is able to dive in the air. And he flied straight over the sea and could see the greenery and the mountains beneath him. And he screamed out of joy as he enjoyed the victory. That is a victory over his fear of flying. His parents and his brothers and sister had landed on this green flooring ahead of him. They were beckoning to him, calling shrilly. He dropped his legs to stand on the green sea. His legs sank into it. He screamed with fright and attempted to rise again, flapping his wings. But he was tired and weak with hunger, and he could not rise, exhausted by the strange exercise. His feet sank into the green sea, and then his belly touched it, and he sank no further. He was floating on it, and around him his family was screaming, praising him, and their beaks were offering him scraps of godfish. He had made his first flight. So when he landed, what happened? His family landed along with him as a gesture that they were very proud of him. They were screaming and shouting in excitement in their high-pitched voices. He then went into the sea, where at first he got scared and thus panicked. So now he got the courage to go to the sea. And he tried escaping but got tired and weak because of hunger, because for a few days he hasn't got anything to eat. So he has got tired and weak. And thus when he calmed down, he started floating in the sea he was once afraid of. His family was celebrating his victory in excitement and offered him food as praise. So now he got what? The food. As a token of appreciation, he got the food from his family members. And finally, we know he had overcome his fear and had made his first flight. So this is all about the lesson, a very motivating lesson for everyone. And I hope you understood the lesson completely. And so once again, I'm repeating, the journey of 1,000 miles begin with a single step. Thank you for watching.